Understanding the connection between happiness and suffering. Happiness and suffering are often seen as opposites, but they are intricately connected. One cannot truly appreciate happiness without experiencing suffering, as the contrast between the two helps define and enhance their meaning. The relationship between them is complex, where each aspect influences and shapes the other in significant ways. The role of contrast in defining happiness. Happiness becomes meaningful in contrast to suffering. When we experience pain, loss, or hardship, it magnifies the joy and pleasure we feel during moments of happiness. Without suffering, happiness might be less noticeable, as the highs and lows of life provide a framework for understanding the value of positive emotions. Suffering as a catalyst for growth. Suffering can lead to personal growth and development. It challenges us to confront difficult emotions, fears, and circumstances, often prompting a re-evaluation of what truly matters in life. Through overcoming suffering, we gain resilience, deeper empathy, and a greater capacity to appreciate happiness when it arises. The Buddhist perspective on happiness and suffering. Buddhism teaches that suffering is an inherent part of life, and that the path to true happiness lies in accepting and transcending it. According to the Four Noble Truths, suffering, dukkha, arises from attachment and desire. By letting go of attachments, individuals can experience peace and happiness that is not contingent upon external circumstances. Happiness and the acceptance of suffering. Acceptance plays a key role in the relationship between happiness and suffering. When we accept suffering as a natural part of life, we free ourselves from the constant pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain. This acceptance allows for a more balanced and sustainable form of happiness that is less dependent on fluctuating circumstances. The paradox of seeking happiness. The pursuit of happiness itself can sometimes lead to suffering. When we place too much importance on external achievements, possessions, or status, we often find ourselves dissatisfied or anxious when those things don't bring lasting joy. This paradox suggests that happiness is not something that can be directly sought after but arises naturally when we are at peace with both happiness and suffering. Emotional resilience. Finding joy through struggles. Developing emotional resilience allows us to navigate both happiness and suffering with greater ease. By learning to cope with suffering, we can also enhance our ability to experience and sustain happiness. This resilience creates a deeper sense of fulfillment, as we learn to appreciate the fleeting nature of both joy and pain. The role of compassion in balancing happiness and suffering. Compassion plays a crucial role in transforming suffering into a pathway to happiness. By extending compassion to ourselves and others, we can alleviate the burden of suffering and foster connection, kindness, and joy. Compassion allows us to share in the suffering of others while also celebrating their happiness, creating a more meaningful and interconnected life. Happiness as a temporary state amidst suffering. Happiness is often seen as temporary, existing in moments of joy or peace amidst life's inevitable suffering. Recognizing the impermanence of both happiness and suffering allows us to live more fully in the present moment, appreciating the highs while accepting the lows. This awareness fosters a healthier and more balanced perspective on life. Conclusion. Embracing the dynamic relationship. Happiness and suffering are not isolated experiences but are intertwined in the human condition. By embracing both, we can cultivate a deeper understanding of life's complexities. Accepting suffering as part of our journey enables us to experience happiness in a more profound and sustainable way, creating a more resilient and fulfilling life.